Hi, this video is going to be a very special video. Tomorrow it's going to be my birthday, but I don't know how busy things will get tomorrow. I decided to upload this today to share a few things with you. Well, first, in the description of this video, I'm going to put a list with the links to different publishers that are offering their different products, several of their products, or even all of their products, as free role playing games and other board games, I think, and as pay what you want. So, if you want to try them out, you can download them right away. In fact, I recommend that you do it as quickly as possible. It doesn't happen as often, but sometimes a product is released as free or as pay as you want, and then later on you have to purchase it at a fixed price. So the list will be in the description. I'm also going to put a few links to Spanish games. If you know Spanish or if you're practicing Spanish, maybe you will be interested in that. So I hope you will enjoy those role-playing games. And like I told you, I think there are also some print and play games there, like mini board games and such. I'm also going to put in parentheses some games that I highly recommend, or that I think they are decent. I haven't tried all of them. I have read the vast majority of them, so I think they are up to standards, and considering they are free and pay what you want, it's pretty good. I'm also going to put games that I think it could be difficult to find, because some of those publishers have many role-playing games, not all of them free or pay what you want, so it could be a bit difficult for you to find them. So I hope you will enjoy them. The other thing that I'm going to share with you, it's a bit like a mini flash contest. I have two Steam codes that I got as part of a bundle, but I already have those video games. It's the Aarklash Legacy game and One Way Heroics, if I'm not mistaken. Aarklash Legacy is actually pretty cool. I beat it a few years ago. It's a strategy, a very battle-focused role-playing game. A bit like Baldur's Gate, in the sense that you pause and you carry out real-time movement, and then you pause and take your actions, and it's kind of like that. The One Way Heroics game, I haven't played it. I have it there. I got it as part of a sale a long time ago, but I hear that it's really good. It's kind of like a role-playing game, roguelite, if I'm not mistaken. So if you are interested in either of those games, if you want to win those codes, just write a comment in this video telling me about your favorite video of the ones that I have produced. It could be a review, it could be anything, one of my anime videos, any video that I have posted on this channel. Tell me which one is your favorite and why. And also make sure you let me know if you want the Aarklash Legacy code or the One Way Heroics code. I'm only going to give one code per person. I only have two codes, so you have until Wednesday. I recommend that you post the comment today or Monday or Tuesday, because I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to check out the comments on Wednesday. It could be quite early or it could be quite late. Either way, I recommend that you write down your comment, and I'm going to choose the two comments that I like the most. Remember, tell me your favorite video of my channel and why that video is your favorite. And remember, specify if you want Aarklash Legacy or One Way Heroics. And besides that, I'm going to share with you today some random thoughts that I've had of my experience with role-playing games. Around the time of my birthday, I get somewhat nostalgic, so I want to share with you some of my experience as I tried to get into role-playing games many years ago. So let's get started. Throughout the years, sometimes people have asked me what I like about role-playing games, and I've also thought about that. What is it that I like the most? And I don't think it's an easy question to answer. And throughout the years, I've given different answers to myself and others. So I think it's very difficult to give a single answer. It's kind of like the sum of many different answers. But I think that one of the things that I enjoy the most is creating a sort of imaginary pocket dimension. Let me try to explain. Every time since I was very young, early teens, 13, 14 years old, I've always enjoyed how when you play a game, you really enter into this sort of fictional universe. I've heard several people throughout the years saying that they like role playing games and other games like video games or comic books, any sort of entertainment. They enjoy it because they feel like it's an escape. But I think the term escape is a bit negative because it sounds like life is such a horrible thing. But role playing games, fiction, entertainment is also part of reality, part of life. Rather, I think the ones that apply the term correctly are the ones that refer that they escape from stress for a moment perhaps, or from worries or negative things. But I don't like the term escapism as a whole because to me role-playing games they have always been like a sort of vacation or a trip. So it's kind of like going on vacation. It's not like, oh, I want to escape from it all. Well, I guess you could say that you want to escape in a momentary way, but otherwise it sounds like you're ignoring the important things in life, because there are some people that really do escape. That's why I think the term is wrongly applied. Some people get into this mindset, even if it has to do with role-playing games or video games, or even sports. There are many sports stars or athletes that forget about life and think that the only thing that exists is the competition. Like, for example, those that are in combat sports, and sometimes they start to act like thugs, they start to hurt people, destroy private property, and only then when they are confronted with law enforcement officers and such, then they wake up and they realize that they're outside of the ring, so to speak, or outside of the competition in other sorts of physical activities. So it's not exclusive to role-playing games. They are not like the only thing that will pull you out of reality. But for me, like I told you, I've always considered that those imaginary and fictional worlds are part of reality. They are fictional, they are not real, to put it in a pragmatic way, but they are still part of this beautiful experience that is life. You cannot let the negative things of life to taint or corrupt the experience as a whole. So for me, role-playing games have only always been like that passage or gateway into this pocket dimension. I remember the first time that suddenly my players, throughout the years there have been some similar situations, but the first time that one of my players told me, "Oh, I want to go adventuring to this forest. Do you think you could design an adventure or purchase a module that involves going to these to lakes and exploring the mountains and swamps?" So it always felt like they were trusting me to take them on a journey. They believed that I could literally take them to faraway places. So that's a really amazing feeling. When I started to understand and go deeper into this feeling of looking at role-playing games as a sort of like tunnels or gateways into these imaginary worlds, I got so excited about game night or game day. Back then it was game day. It was usually Saturday or Sunday, and we played the entire day. Sometimes we had sleepovers. We played Saturday and all Sunday, and even sometimes we didn't finish the adventure, and we wanted my friends. We're talking about like I said, when we were like 13, 14 years old. My friends always called to their houses, and they were begging to stay just one more night, even if we had to go to school from my house. Or sometimes there were a few occasions when I stayed at my friend's house, and I took all of my role-playing game things there. We always tried to extend the time we had to play, just so that we could finish the adventure. So that was an amazing experience. One of my fondest memories of those moments where we felt like the weekend was this portal into these amazing worlds. and we wanted to savor it all. And it has been somewhat difficult, like back then. Many of you know we didn't have internet as it exists today here in Mexico. In many places we simply did not have internet. Imagine that. Imagine yourself in a world without internet. It was very difficult to get into role-playing games. For several years I only knew that Dungeons and Dragons and Old World of Darkness existed. When I first started to get into Dungeons and Dragons through Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, I was completely unaware or oblivious to other ways of playing role-playing games. For me, it was always that tactical role-play aspect. I remember when I first saw an Old World of Darkness book. It was Werewolf the Apocalypse. I looked at it at it was in Walden Books where I saw it. I don't know if that store still exists or that chain. I think it's already gone. Haven't checked. But I entered Walden Books and started to look at different games. And I saw this book of Werewolf of the Apocalypse, and I was so excited. I was like, oh, it's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons, but with werewolves. And I opened the book, and it felt I didn't understand what that was. It looked like some sort of script for a play, so I didn't understand it, and I thought this game isn't for me. This doesn't have any grids or information how to carry out combat with miniatures, and I don't understand this game. So I put it back on the shelf, but I always felt that curiosity. I didn't know what that was, and I wasn't ready to purchase it because I had limited money back then, when it comes to considerably more limited when it comes to today. So I left it aside, and I spent a few years just playing Dungeons and Dragons, because for me situations involving diplomacy, social affairs, the cities, the towns, they all felt like they were just there as a side dish, to put it in a way. The cities, the towns, they all felt like just momentary hubs that you went to restock, to get more weapons and magical items, sell some stuff, and you went back into the dungeon or into the forest or into the haunted mansion. And so it was only when I started to play Ravenloft in the Ravenloft campaign setting, old Ravenloft, that I started to understand that there was a lot more to role-playing games than just going into those dangerous places to kill monsters and take their treasure. Suddenly my players and I were having all of these situations involving mysteries, talking with shady and mysterious non-player characters. You couldn't tell if they were your potential allies or your enemies. So I started to understand a bit of the other side of role-playing games, aside or outside of combat and exploration. So later on I did get into World of Darkness through Vampire the Masquerade. I purchased the book and I started to understand the social aspect that is outside of just meeting players when you play, that is of player characters interacting with other non-player characters, and that having very powerful political and social effects in the setting. So I'm really glad that I managed to get into Ravenloft, because I love horror things, anything related to scary things and the macabre. So Ravenloft really taught me or introduced me to another way of playing role-playing games. So it's quite amazing how one changes or potentially evolves when it comes to your play style in role-playing games or any other type of entertainment. And even then, I still spent many years just playing, almost the majority of my teenage years, well, maybe until I was 17, 16. Around that time, just playing Dungeons and Dragons and World of Darkness. Those were my only the only RPG universes that I was familiar with. I didn't have any clue about Tunnels and Trolls and any role-playing game that existed around the time of Dungeons and Dragons. And later on, as I decided to take the jump from World of Darkness to other role-playing games, I have experienced so many different systems. Some that do not even use dice, like many of you know. Sometimes they use cards, other times they use candy. Pretty crazy. And sometimes they were quite freeform, and I managed to enjoy all of those styles, and I'm really thankful for that. So it really has been an amazing journey, and I expect many surprising things to come as I keep on playing role-playing games for the rest of my life. I'm also curious as to how other players manage to make the jump from one role-playing game to the other. Sorry. Maybe there are others that also started with Dungeons and Dragons and didn't understand that there were other systems or ways of playing role-playing games. Some of them more focused on the storytelling aspect. If you have any interesting stories to share, please write them down in the comments section or make a video response. I'm curious to know how you made that jump from one role-playing game to the other. I have heard sometimes of some people that it was the other way around. They started playing some storytelling focused game like World of Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf, Changeling, and then they decided to go into a more tactical role-playing game like Dungeons and Dragons, any sort of system that involves using miniatures and moving in a map. Well, I think that's it for today. I just wanted to share some of these thoughts. I hope you found these memories entertaining. I hope you enjoy some of the free and pay what you want games that I'm going to put in the description below, like I told you. And if you want those games of Aarklash Legacy or One Way Heroics, it's one game per person, the chance to win a single copy. Please write down in the comments about your favorite video of my channel and why you think that's your favorite video, and specifying which game you want. Try to do it before Wednesday, because then I'm going to decide the 2 comments that I like the most to hand out One Way Heroics and Aarklash Legacy. So thank you so much for watching this birthday celebration video. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that have been sending right through RPG gift certificates. If anyone else wants to further support the channel, the information how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.